Hey Trekkies, it's summer, and you know what that means. It's time for Creation Entertainment's Trek to Las Vegas 2025. This year, the convention has been expanded to a 5-day schedule, August 6th through the 10th at the Rio Las Vegas Hotel. Meet all your favorite Star Trek pros in one place, and hey, maybe you swing by Vic's Lounge and you see our panel. It's a great way to meet people in person and have some fun with your fellow Trekkies. If you can't make it to Star Trek Las Vegas, of course, there's also other events around the country this year. Trek to Orlando, August 23rd through 24th. There's the Trek to New Jersey, September 6th and 7th. And finally, the Trek to Chicago, November 22nd and 23rd. We're looking forward to meeting as many of you as we can this year. So make sure that you get ready to trek to Las Vegas.
Is this thing on? Hello, hello. Welcome to Open Pike Night, the podcast where your personal logs are our prime directive. I'm your host, John T. Bolds, here tonight with some amazing guests, so many amazing guests, on stage and my co-host in the studio to start Season 2 of both Open Pike Night and Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Joining me today is the man who ships so much that he doesn't care what ships you're talking about from Strange New Worlds, he just ships every ship. Jesse from Sudden But Inevitable.
That's right, I've got my ships together, and if you hear a slight buzzing in the background, don't pay it any mind, it's just every bone in my body.
And the man who, like the other hosts of this podcast, is so excited about Strange New Worlds, he's just gone ahead and watched 60% of it already. Host of Green Shirt and Newbies Trek Through TNG, Cameron.
If you could use any two seasons to describe yourself, what would they be? Oregano? Rosemary?
Thyme and parsley for me.
Thyme, of course.
Tonight we're here to talk about just Season 2 and how excited we are for it and how excited all of our listeners and callers are for it. And first up, we're just going to start with, just a call.
Just jumping into one?
Yeah, we're just going to jump right into one. Here we go.
I couldn't quite put to words how excited I am for Star Trek Strange New Worlds, so with a little inspiration and a little help from ChatGPT, I present to you The Night Before Star Trek. 'Twas the night before Star Trek, and all through the ship, not a crew member was stirring, not even a blip. The faces were polished, the tricorders prepared, in hopes that the new series soon would be aired. The Trekkies were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of starships danced in their heads, and I, in my uniform with Spock-like precision, had just settled down for a long space mission. When out in the galaxy there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bunk to see what was the matter. Away to the viewport I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of a distant strange world gave a lustre of adventure to objects unfurled, when what, to my wondering eyes, should appear but a brand new starship, boldly going, no fear. With a dashing young captain so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be our pick. More rapid than warp speed, the crew they all came, and they whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Picard, now Kirk, now Sisko and Janeway, on Archer, on Pike, on Burnham and Saru. To the edge of the universe, to the unknown we'll fly. Now engage, engage, engage to the sky. As starships that before the wild nebula fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the heavens the new series they flew, with the ship full of hope and a whole crew of new. And then, in a twinkling, I heard in my ear the theme music playing so epic and clear. As I drew in my hand and was turning around, the transporter being activated with a bound. He hailed from the stars, this captain so bold, with a mission to explore new stories untold. His crew by his side, each one skilled and true, ready to face the unknown as they always do. Their ship took off with a powerful thrust, leaving behind the familiar in search of what's just. Through galaxies vast, they chart their own way, bringing hope to all corners in the Trekkin way. The Trekkies rejoiced, their excitement unbound, for a new series awaited with wonders profound. They gathered round screens with wide eyes and delight, eagerly anticipating the premiere's first light. The captain, the crew, the starship so grand, embarked on a voyage throughout the starland. Boldly they'd go where no one had been, exploring new frontiers, their resolve unbroken and keen. The fans held their breath as the opening theme played, memories of past series, nostalgia conveyed. But this new incarnation, a fresh chapter to write, a fusion of old and new to ignite the trek in light. With phases and tricorders, the crew set a course to encounter strange new worlds and engage in discourse. With every episode, they'd share tales of lore, unraveling mysteries like never before. So, on the night before Star Trek, the anticipation grew. A fandom united, their passion shining through. In the vast universe where imagination takes flight, a new Star Trek series was born to thrill and excite.
All right. That was returning caller Captain Idle, basically locking himself into giving us a recording like that every December from now on. Thank you so much, Captain Idle. That was fantastic.
This angel just got his wings.
And Captain Idle on the piano, folks. That part was not ChatGPT, by the way.
The reverb was a nice touch. I was there.
Yeah.
Recorded at Vasquez Rocks. That's not true, but
with time crystals. Yeah, it's fantastic. Man, we are here to not spoil anything about season 2, but we are here to get you excited about season 2. And man, I'm going to let Jesse start us off. Hey, Jesse, is anything, I haven't talked to you in a while. I don't think much has happened since last time we were recording together, right?
No, there haven't been any episodes since then, which is rough, but if folks do want to check out the back catalog, I highly recommend that because, well, there's a lot of reasons. Okay, first of all, yes, there was a series of interviews with the entire bridge crew of Strange New Worlds that John and Cameron conducted very well, I may add, and I edited the heck out of. And if you really want, you could actually go watch those interviews as well as listen to them. They are on our YouTube, which is youtube.com/@openpike, or you can just check our back catalog to listen to them. Now, of course, Cameron and I did have to spill the beans there a little bit in that episode and explain, yes, Open Pike Night, because of the wonderful unending support of the audience and you, the person listening right now, has become the kind of podcast that can sort of swing our audience around a little bit and say, hey, you should probably hook us up with the preseason screeners so that we can get all of our content ready for our devoted fan base. And that totally happened. And we wouldn't be here without the audience. So thank you so much for giving us an avenue to bring more Star Trek to you in a way that allows us to be a little more prepared. If you listen to season 1, you know that it was hard for me to keep a lid on all of my emotions. That's not going to change. What is going to change is that I will have had time to think about those emotions by the time I talk about them with you. So hopefully I'll be a little bit more articulate and take up slightly less of your time and John and Cameron's time, of course. Now, all of that having been said, you guys, we watched the first 6 episodes. I finished them first. Maybe not
Yes, you did.
to anyone's surprise. But I mean, it really was a moment of true self-discipline. I could have watched them all in one go because I was so excited at the end of the first one, which we can talk about a little bit, and we will. It's called The Broken Circle. That was released today, so we can say that. I watched that, and I was just so ready for the rest of the season. But Open Pike Night, as professional as it is actually sort of a side project for the rest of our real lives. So I did have to, pretend at least to be an adult for a couple of weeks while I space these episodes out. I'm happy to report that I am very happy with what I have to report.
I was the second one to finish them somehow. You went on a week-long trip, so I guess that's your excuse. Yep. to nature. You went out and touched grass or red rocks.
So much grass. I saw a bighorn sheep. Yeah. 2 of them.
And a bobcat.
A bobcat butt.
Yeah. Mere inches away, there are photos. You will see photos. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Blue Sky at Openpike.
So we're going to talk about it. You know me, I'm the most critical one. I've got some critiques I want to ready people's expectations, but It's very enjoyable. I would say the first 6 episodes are about just as enjoyable as the first 6 episodes of season 1.
I would agree with that. I was the last one to see them all. The first 6 episodes are as enjoyable as season 1. They are not the same.
It's a different
6 episodes as season. It is a different season. Take that as you will. I mean, some folks are gonna like this better than season 1. Some folks are gonna like season 1 better. That's the way everyone goes, and there's gonna inevitably be comparisons. In fact, my rating system for this season, guys, we will not be ranking episodes in order as they come out. We will be ranking them against their season 1 counterparts as to how each of us liked them, whether we liked the season 1 episode 1 better or the season 2 episode 1 better.
This is gonna be fun.
I will again make you choose.
So let me ask you guys this, because I was kind of thinking about what's different this time around. At first I was like, oh, maybe season 2 is not taking as big a swings as season 1 did. And then I started thinking about the actual episodes, and I said, nope, that's wrong. That's not true. So what is different? And I think that even though they're equally enjoyable, I think the highs of season 1 were higher, but season 2 is more consistent throughout.
I could see that, which is a similar comparison people draw between TNG and DS9. Like I've heard it said, DS9, the highs are not as high as TNG, but the lows are not as low as TNG also. And I could see that being an apt comparison for what we've seen so far. I was trying to think, how would I simplify it for somebody who has seen season 1? I would say if season 1 is talk, season 2 is action.
I don't know what the hell either of you watched, because every episode for me it's not like, oh, that's the thing I wanted, right? Like it's I didn't even know I wanted this, and I am loving it. Like there's a confidence, I think, in season 2. That's the biggest difference that I noticed, is that season 1 is gorgeous. It's well made. I mean, you know, I love it. I raved about it for months on end, even after it was over. But season 2 has the confidence of a set and a crew that went in knowing the people love what we did in season 1, and they are not afraid to use that confidence to go to some really strange new places. Cameron, I figured you would be the most excited. Like you're like, I want more worlds. Like, spoiler alert, there's more worlds. Like there's a lot in this that I feel, and we will get to the calls, but there's a lot that I think are going to be in these calls and that have been in our calls in the past, that people say, give me thing X, or, you know, set thing Y up in this way, that is happening. And I am over the moon. I have complaints about this season, but I may end up saving them for the actual episodes themselves. But they're not deal breakers, folks. Surprise.
No. Well, I mean, like every Star Trek, we've said this crew is great. These actors and characters are great. It's a hangout show. As whatever problems I have with an episode, I'm always enjoying myself hanging out with this crew in this universe on this ship. And I do feel, to your point, Jesse, I see the thing about the confidence. I feel like the writers and actors really know the characters now, and they're doing some very interesting things with the characters. I think Spock is a highlight this season. They've like really narrowed in on how they want to use him, and
yes,
it feels like old school TOS Spock, but just kind of a little sharper, a little brighter, a little more, you know, modern. And I think they're nailing that.
Yeah. And it's funny because in our first episode, our episode 1 episode for season 1, we described it as a very confident opening for a show. But yeah, this blows that out of the water. And I'll predict now that the season 3 episode 1 is going to be even more so, because that will be the first season that is shaped not only by actual fan reaction to the show, but I mean, may somewhat be shaped by, you know, things like the writer's strike, things like that going on. So I think I wouldn't be surprised to see season 3 even blow this out of the water.
Well, let me ask you guys, since you brought it up, John, I mean, do you guys feel you could tell the season was written before the first one aired, that it was in a bubble, so to speak? Because we've talked a lot about that and the pros and cons that could come from that.
So I personally haven't seen anything where I was like, oh, this is a hedged bet, or like, oh, this is if season 1 character X doesn't go well. Everything that I feel I've seen so far has been a direct expansion of season 1, which obviously is to be expected, but like there haven't been any turns or changes to me that felt like a misstep, if that makes sense, right? Like we're seeing different sides of these characters, definitely, but there hasn't been something yet where I've gone, I don't think that fits. And I haven't seen, there's actually a rug pull. I think it's a little bit of a rug pull in episode 2 that I was thinking, oh, this is affected by real world circumstances. And then they're like, nope, it's fine. Like, so I really enjoyed that personally. I don't know that there's anything that I could say that I could point to that goes, you know, they were in the bubble, as you put it.
At first, until I reminded myself that this was still an untested crew as far as fan reaction went. At first, I was a little confused with some choices they make in the first 3 episodes, and I realized, oh no, this is them actually, like Jesse said, they are developing these characters beyond what we've been used to in other Trek. Some people are going to be like, well, this doesn't seem like so-and-so in season 1. It's like, yeah, it is so-and-so. We're just seeing more of them. We're learning more about them and getting the time we get to with them. Which, I mean, with some of these characters, we already know more about them than we did from characters in TNG that we were with for 7 years.
Yeah.
So I think that is where my confusion was. But now that it's like, okay, we're just meeting more and more of each of these people, and I do enjoy it.
I do feel like there are elements and characters that fans really latched onto and loved, Mortagus, that they don't give us as much as they would have had they known the reaction. We do get Mortagus, everyone, but probably not as much as followers of the hashtag would want, at least in the first 6 season episodes.
We're rabid.
And then I also feel like there's paths they're going down that people didn't respond to in a huge way in season 1. That I'm like, oh, interesting. They're really doubling down on that, and I don't know if that's a fan favorite, but we'll see. Mm-hmm. We'll see how season 2 does with it.
And I'll personally say right away, that's the kind of show that I want. I want the kind of show that goes, yes, we know that wasn't well received, but it's great for the story and it makes sense for, you know, thing X or whatever it is. We're going with it and we have reasons. Like I don't know what the term is for that, but like I don't want too much fan influence on a show, if that makes sense.
No, I mean, it can certainly be a negative for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I have seen stars and writers, much like those you can find in our back catalog, say things to the media like, yes, we pay a lot of attention to the fans. Stuff from the fans gets picked up. Like I mean, that's literally where the show came from, right? Like,
yeah,
people saw these people in disco and went, give them a show. Mm-hmm. So it is a bit of a double-edged sword, and I appreciate you bringing that up because, I don't know, I feel like the answer people would expect me to give is like, only listen to the fans.
and we are at a time these days where fan investment is it's more and more unique with every individual fan. Mm-hmm. And some fans have voices louder than others that may get heard more. It's like, hey, the thing you're saying you want, you are the only person who might want or invest that kind of energy into these characters. And it's like, yeah, we're, the showrunners, at the end of the day, the showrunners are a group of people and their decisions are what run the show.
Yeah. So what John is saying is that you really need to get behind the hashtag Mortagus for season 2. You guys, when I'm on Twitter promoting that hashtag, get behind it seriously.
That's right.
Yeah. Let's do it.
John, yes, to your point, I think one thing we do have to let people know about, maybe just ready those expectations, is if you were hoping to jump into season 2 and just get like a regular Star Trek yarn with this ensemble crew right away, be patient. Be patient.
Yes.
I won't give away any details, but episode 4 is really the first time we're going to get that. It's a little more unique storytelling before that, so just prepare yourselves.
Yeah. The way that I put it in our secret chat was they realized in season 1 they've got a cast full of stars. Like it would be really easy to pair them up or put them in a group of 3 and get great episodes out of A and B plots, that happened.
And I'll give you guys a hint. Think about what pairings you might want to see. Somebody might ask us to that in one of their calls.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll keep that in mind. But yes, I've been watching a ton of TOS to get ready for this. And because I'm an absolute degenerate and I need more Star Trek at all times. And this really is embracing everything about TOS, okay? I'm talking everything, minus the questionable politics.
I would, if as you started to watch season 1 of Strange New Worlds, you notice, we're doing like an episode per character as we get into this series and into this season. I would say more expect as we get into season 2, this is a type of episode for each episode.
Absolutely.
It swings back and forth on what each episode is, but that doesn't make it bad by any means.
Now, before we get to the calls, I have one question for you guys. That's very episode specific, but it's not detail specific. Do you think a person who didn't watch season 1 of Strange New Worlds could start at season 2, episode 1 and get it? Like, oh, okay, I get it. And now I'd like to check out season 1. Because I really personally feel like this first episode is almost like not another pilot, but it's like here's what our show is. If you're not, I don't want to give too much away, but it feels to me like a showcase. Like, look at all these shiny toys we have.
Well, like 80% of the shiny toys. I think someone could. Yes. I do think like there's a big element missing from episode 1 that is not emblematic of the show. But otherwise, I think you could jump in and pretty quickly be like, I know who these characters are, and maybe I don't know exactly why they're doing what they're doing right now, but like, it's a Star Trek show. I get it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And if you watched just episode 1 of season 2 and thought, I'll go back and catch up on season 1, episode 1 of season 1, you're going to be like, wow, this is different than what I just watched. But by the time but it wouldn't be too off-putting.
I think it would be a great journey, and we'd love to hear your reaction if you're out there and you do that.
Absolutely. If you're listening to this, if you're just getting into Strange New Worlds, one, have no doubt, all of us are telling you right now, start watching Strange New Worlds, and also call into Open Pike Night at openpike.com/join us. And also consider supporting us and our work on Patreon. It is a great way to make a small investment to keep independent Star Trek podcasts coming at you, where we talk to some pretty big stars and have some pretty big guests and have the most amazing listeners and callers. So check out Open Pike Night on Patreon, and thank you to our 25-minute set patrons, Mark, Pam, Shatterhand, and Steve.
You guys make this show self-sustaining, so thank you so much, because you're giving the world more Star Trek podcasting. Say that next time somebody asks you what you did good lately.
We are Open Pike Night, which means we are an Open Mic Night themed podcast. You can also send in Star Trek jokes if you ever want to, but it also makes us a call-in podcast. And we, speaking of fan investment in characters, have a couple of calls back to back here from some fans and some patrons.
Hey guys, it's Tessa. I have been thinking all day about what I want from season 2, and I've got a list that's about a mile long, but to keep it shorter than that, what I want more than anything is for season 2 to make Strange New Worlds be a full reboot. I think that there's no way that the series can continue being what it is and being so great and having so many people of color and women as a cast, and then have it be believable that TOS is what comes next. I think that this show has done a phenomenal job of giving us an incredible cast and a likable crew. And I think that if they don't do a reboot, that is going to be their biggest downfall. I don't want to say goodbye to any of these characters. I want them to stay. There's not a single member of the cast that I would feel okay about leaving the show at this point. Also, I hope for Christine and Erica to be dating, but that's a given. Bye, love you guys.
Hi boys, it's Venus Botortegas on Twitter, and as for things I'm excited about for season 2, obviously I'm excited for more Erica Ortegas. I'm excited to see the characters that we've grown so attached to. Everyone is. What I really want, even though it's extremely unrealistic, is not ship content or anything like that. I want Strange New Worlds to be a reboot or a different universe or an alternate timeline whatever. I know that directors and producers have said it's not that, but I feel as though there is no satisfying way to go from the diversity and characters in Strange New Worlds to the diversity in characters in TOS in a way that is in any way satisfying or really fair to the characters. There's no way to give them a satisfying send-off or like a good ending knowing that TOS comes next. And I don't think it's fair to sacrifice these characters just for the sake of TOS. I think that we've been introduced to these characters that are so deeply rich with their lore, and I would really miss them. I would really miss what they stand for. And I think that TOS, while it was great to kickstart the series and the franchise, isn't what we should strive to achieve as our end goal anymore. I think that we have greater things to look forward to.
We are about to be 11 episodes into this series, and these characters and stories are so good that people are already mourning the fact that James T. Kirk has to take over the Enterprise at some point.
Okay, I gotta ask, John, because I know that you have a very specific theory in this field. I think this is a place where you should tell folks what you think they should do if they were to exit Erica Ortegas from this show.
I do have a specific theory, and it occurred to me as I was watching the new trailer and obviously reading press for this. We know there is a Lower Decks crossover. We know somehow there is a bridge between the Cerritos crew and the Pike Enterprise crew. And I'm just saying, if Mariner and Boimler can go one way, Ortegas could go the other way. And she could end up on the Cerritos crew.
Well, I mean, she'd get her own ship, but sure.
Hopefully she would get her own ship. But I think if they wanted to, make room for, there's Sulu, there's Chekhov, there's some folks we know are coming down the pike that we do have a door that's opening, and I hope they don't forget that when the time comes for those characters to continue their stories. If it's that or getting killed, send them to Lower Decks.
Mm-hmm. I'm there for that.
And I hear Venus and Tessa 100%, and I will go one step further and say I'd be fine if this canon replaced TOS canon. If they go, okay, now James Kirk is Paul Wesley, and here's his show in 10 or 15 years, and everything he does replaces what Kirk did, I'd probably be fine with that. Because you know what? TOS is still going to be there. You can still go watch TOS if you really need to. And yeah, there's some great stuff in it. Like I said, I've been devouring TOS. The high concept stuff, is really, really good. It's just, it's limited by the time that it came out, which is totally fair. Everything is. This will be someday, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I'm totally here for that. I would be totally fine with that. Star Trek is known for alternate timelines and messing with canon. And you guys know that I don't care really that much about canon. So I am totally behind Tessa and Venus.
I still don't know why Discovery and Strange New Worlds was not part of the Kelvin universe. It seemed like I thought it was going to be. It seemed like that's what they wanted to do, and why they didn't do that, I don't know. So on that page, I agree. On the other one, I guess I don't really understand the issue. I want Strange New Worlds to go as long as it can, and then I want a new show, one that preferably takes place post TNG. I don't want to see the Adventures of Kirk. We've seen the Adventures of Kirk.
Yeah.
TOS was as diverse for its time as Strange New Worlds is for our time. And I think that's fine. And, we don't have to kill these characters off. Like you said, John Ortegas could go off to another timeline, maybe another universe. That's great. I'm fine with that. Let's see these guys through the end of their mission, and then let's get another show.
Yeah. And they're all super capable characters. They could get promoted to head of Starfleet Medical, or they get their own ship. There could be, I feel there are a lot of satisfying ways to exit the characters from this time frame in Trek, but I don't know that they really need to Cameron's point. Go ahead, Cam.
You know what I want? Because I don't want like Paul Wesley commanding the Enterprise and just seeing new versions of the like we don't need that.
We've
Why?
seen it.
What's the point?
Yeah.
I want a show where maybe it's Eric Ortegas, it's someone on another ship, and basically they're just like 2 days behind the Enterprise and dealing with like all the messes the Enterprise did, like a show that just intersects with the events of TOS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. I was gonna say that's
With
very
actual
lower
Kirk,
decks.
yeah.
If it was like actually following, that would be good.
Not
A
second
TOS era
contact,
lower
but-
decks would be pretty fun.
And that
you know?
gives the fans a way to just further indict TOS if that's your flavor, right? Like,
Right.
I think that's great.
Plus, it
idea.
would be super confusing for everybody when the second version of Lower Decks is called Lower Decks, the original series.
right.
I will say, if you have never called into Open Pike, call in. But we got 17 calls for this episode, guys.
I feel so loved, guys.
super loved. It's amazing. So let's go ahead and hear from another caller.
Hello, everyone at Open Pike Night. This is Patrick from the It's Got Star Trek podcast.
Hi, Pat.
I'm undertaking another one of these very stressful, limited to 90-second audio recordings, and this time without the potential interruption of my co-hosts, Dan and Jesse. But there's a million reasons to be on the hype train for Season 2 of Strange New Worlds. However, for me, I think one of the main ones is I'm looking forward to see how we're surprised, right? Because going into Season 1, I think a lot of people were expecting another cool Star Trek show. They were very curious about what they were going to do with Captain Pike, etc. But the writers, the actors, the producers, the production design, they really surprised us in so many ways with the unexpected plot developments, characterizations, all sorts of stuff they did that was just so pleasant, so fun, and I'm looking forward to more of that in Season 2. Yes, there's a lot of things to follow up from Season 1, so there's a lot that we're expecting, but I'm really eager to see what unexpected stuff this production team throws at us. So looking forward to the show, looking forward to your coverage of the show, so here's to another great season of Star Trek. I totally made it under time, I think. I could dilly-dally for another few seconds. Open Pike Night's not as much about dilly-dallying as we are. We're known to be chronic dilly-dalliers.
All right.
Yeah.
We got a little dilly in us.
You can dally my dilly any day, Patrick.
Absolutely.
Yes, and thank you so much for the call, Patrick. And I gotta say, if you're not listening to It's Got Star Trek, seriously, just get on it. They're out every week, even the weeks when there is no new Star Trek, which is weird to say nowadays, because for a while there it was a new Star Trek. There were sometimes 2 new Star Treks a week.
Yeah.
So, but seriously, it's one of those shows that really does make you feel like you are in a room with your friends talking about Star Trek. You feel like you're part of the conversation. It's personally one of my favorite Star Trek shows, and I'm on a Star Trek show, and so are these guys. So like, it's very, very good show, and you should definitely check it out. Now, Patrick, to your point about the production, I remember when the Elysian Kingdom dropped, we're all like, this is the Emmy episode, right? Like, give them all Emmys, give the production designer an Emmy, give the costume designer an Emmy. Supposedly, I guess because of the date that aired in 2022, it wasn't eligible for the Emmys last year, but it is eligible for the Emmys this year.
Oh.
So if you see Bernadette Croft on Instagram or somebody posting a For Your Consideration post, definitely reshare that, like it, comment, do all that stuff, because guys, we gotta help this show win some awards. Now, to your other point, Patrick, about the surprises, dude, there are totally surprises. Like even in the first
Have
episode,
zero fears.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm surprised. Like the chat between the three of us became unintelligible pretty quickly, so we've moved it around a few times. But yeah, the surprises are heavy and hot in Season 2.
Absolutely agree. You're gonna love it, Patrick. Let's go a little further from home and hear from our next caller.
Hello, Open Pike. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm not Isaac. I am Jack. I'm from 2 Minute Trek. This is the start of my talk. This was an intro. Go. I am so excited about the next season of Strange New Worlds. Season 1 was great. I loved it so much. That was about the time I was really getting into Star Trek as well. So that definitely helped it because, wow, it was amazing. And I'm just so excited to see what's going to happen with the Lower Decks characters. Like, I love Lower Decks so much. It's such a good show. just to lie down on the couch and just watch. It's just so hilarious and just great to find new references that you didn't watch the first time. And I feel like the chemistry between like Mariner and La'an could be really funny. Like Mariner being really annoying, and she can be like, I'm here just to battle the Gorn to avenge my family. And she can be like, ooh, cool Gorn stuff, that ended ages ago. And then and I feel like Boimler could be really good with like Spock. Like, oh my god, it's really Spock. I finally get to meet him. I've got so many pictures of him and stuff. So I would love to know what you're excited for and what you would think. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for having me on the show, guys.
All right, Jack, thank you for calling in. I'm going to get on a soapbox here for a minute. If you, for some reason, are listening to this, but also don't like Strange New Worlds or New Trek, you need to listen to Jack's call again. Because if you're only TOS purist, he was you back in the day. And that is the excitement that anybody who loves any Star Trek felt when they saw their Star Trek. This is somebody's new Star Trek, so get on board and, stop being a jerk about hating different Treks.
I'm going to be disappointed if that exchange doesn't happen in the Lower Decks crossover now, Jack.
Right?
And if you're out there thinking, wow, they let their kids listen to Open Pike Night and watch Lower Decks, like, they're Australian. It's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Lower Decks is my 9-year-old's favorite Star Trek show because it has butts. He explicitly tells me it's because there's butts.
Cameron, you got to show him the rest of the butts in Star Trek. Come on, there are so many butts in
Where
Star
are the
Trek.
butts? Give me a list of butts, Star Trek butts.
Okay, well, so far, one of our post-season episodes, we will be ranking the butts of Star Trek, apparently, on Open Pike Night. Prepare your calls now for best butts in Star Trek. Any Trek.
We got to make this happen now.
But do yourself a favor and check out 2 Minute Trek and Unplanned Trek. Those are two very good shows by two very supportive folks, and we could not appreciate them more.
Indeed.
They've written songs for us, guys. Jack, I'm excited about your call. I'm excited about your show. I'm excited about your passion, and I'm excited about the crossover episode. We didn't even get to see that one, so we won't be experiencing it until, well, can't say until you do because you're halfway around the world, but right until everybody else does. Yeah. We got quite a good Trek podcast community around us, so let's hear from another member of that.
Hey guys, it's Jessie from Crusher Convo, and I just have a couple of things that I wanted to mention. First off, the two things I am most excited about in Season 2 of Strange New Worlds is, one, seeing Carol Kane as the new engineer. I am a huge fan of her since her taxi days, and I cannot wait to see her rock it on the Enterprise. And two, getting to see Ortegas again and seeing where her story goes. I mean, hashtag Mortegas, right? I can't wait. My question for you guys would be, what was your favorite guest to interview over this last year? And please don't forget us little people as you guys continue to warp into the Star Trek stardom. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for calling in, Jesse. Let's start with Carol Kane.
Yeah, I was super excited for her, too.
Yes.
Big Carol Kane fan. No one gets kicked in the balls yet. Sorry, we don't get any Scrooged callbacks, but maybe in the last 4 episodes.
Well, people get kicked in their attitudinal balls, sort of, a little bit.
All right.
She is Carol Kane, and she is Carol Kane. So, definitely, you're not going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about her for about the first minute she was on, and then quickly was like, oh no, I'm 100% on board with this character now.
Yep. It's fun to have because it's not a character we've seen a lot of in Trek. It's not a type that we've gotten a lot of. And I think she is the right performer to bring it and to just, it's at first I was confused, but it's like, no, this is really refreshing to see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and anybody who listened to our Season 2, like, Theories and Queries panel that we did live at Fan Expo Portland will know that we were kind of hoping for some friction with that character and the other characters because she is there to, as we know, to replace Hemmer. And I cannot speak any further than that, so I will just stop there.
As far as our favorite guests, we had so many great guests. We had
they're all
writers,
good in their
we
own
had
ways.
performers. I'm gonna have to pick Dr. Aaron McDonald. There was just something about that interview. It was fun. It was nerdy. It was inspiring to me. But man, it's not like there's a broad distance between, finishers in that race. It's nose to nose all the way through.
It probably depends on the day, I think, which day you ask. But for me, it has to be Melissa Navia. She didn't she didn't have to come on our show. Like we hadn't had interviews before that, like she didn't have to support us on social media and retweet our memes and things like that, even though she was the star of those memes at Tom Paris's expense. I just like that interaction was not only meaningful for us, right? Because it was hugely meaningful for us, and it was door opening, world shattering, paradigm shifting level meeting for us. And I, as a fan, was just overwhelmed and continue to be overwhelmed. But to know that she connected so deeply and in such a meaningful way with so many other people over maybe not Star Trek, or, how Star Trek helped them through a specific part of their life, I think to me, that's a huge gift that she gave to the world. And we got to tie the bow on it, right? Like we got to go, here you go, guys. It's shiny. She's had some time to think about it all. And I just, that will go down in Open Pike Night history for me, as well as my personal history forever. I mean, there's nothing more I can really say about it.
I mean, yeah, going in and being like, hopefully she gives us at least 30 minutes, and then 3 hours later saying goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah. On one hand, that's the easy answer. It's definitely the highest of highs, right? But at the same time, there's a lot of stress going into that. It was our first interview. We didn't really know how well it would go. We didn't know how much time we'd have. We didn't know what she'd be like. And she made it super easy. I mean, within 15 minutes of talking to her, we were pretty much at ease. But still, it was a very high functioning 3 hours.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm going to go just to give a different answer. Maybe just the most easygoing, the biggest surprise. It's kind of a toss up between Rong Fu and Jennifer Hui.
Oh God.
Just because
fantastic.
Because they were smaller roles, and I hadn't seen as much interviews with them. We didn't really know what to expect, especially Jennifer Hui. I think I told her I just knew you from Christina. I thought I don't know, are you going to be meek and nervous the whole time? I don't know. But no, they were just both so warm and easy to talk to and funny and insightful, and their stories were really interesting. And yeah, I think those were just two really delightful surprises, and just a blast.
And again, we talked to the showrunner Henry Alonso Myers. We talked to writers. We talked to Davey, Akela, Onitra. Congratulations on being a staff writer this season.
Onitra's up there. Yeah. I loved her story.
Nami, the composer, Dan Janot.
Nami was great. Yeah.
Dan, it is really hard to pick one. I want to go back and listen to each one again right now. But we're going to have to go to another caller because, again, our amazing callers flooded our inbox this week. So here we go.
Hi, Open Pike Night. This is Angie. I loved your ask of the Strange New Worlds cast and crew this past season to give a one-word teaser for Season 2. I really appreciate the not-too-spoilery fun and discussions generated by that request. So, you can guess my question. Now that you have seen some of Season 2 yourselves, what would each of you give as your one-word teaser? Thank you so much for all the fantastic interviews and hype. I'm looking forward to Season 2 with all of you. Live long and prosper.
Oh, Angie.
Oh, I love it.
Such a great question.
Also, now I feel really bad for asking all those people that question because this is difficult.
It's hard. I'm on the spot.
I fortunately, if you're new to Open Pike Night, I'm the one, producer John, who collates all the calls. So I'm the only one who actually hears them before we record. So Jesse and Cam, I gave them a little bit of 15 minutes ago, told them to think about this, but they haven't had as long as I have. So would you guys like me to start?
Yes, please.
All right. I'm going to say my one-word tease for Season 2 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds is regrets.
I was trying to think of one from that episode.
Damn, that's a really good one, John.
Oh, it's more than... Yeah.
That's good. I think I'm going to, through the power of hyphens, get away with father-in-law.
Ooh. I like that.
Highlight for me.
Yep.
Jesse's deep.
Jesse is stumped. It's this kind of question breaks Jesse's heart. He loves everything and wants to say every word right now.
It's true. Wow. Let's see. One word. Okay. And I'm going to say blue.
Uh-huh. Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
I think I know it. I think I know where you're going at with that one.
Okay. Throw those up on your own individual murder boards, everybody.
We'll get those posted and we'll see what people think we meant as the season goes along.
And I got to say thank you to Angie for asking that. And thank you for asking that in the Discord. She got the whole list. Everybody is going through it as we speak. And it prompted the brilliant idea, obviously, as we see those one-word teases that we were given in season 1, we will keep that list updated and checked off so that you know what to keep looking for, so you can do the Leonardo DiCaprio pointing meme yourself. Now, we have already had one of our one-word teases in an actual season 2 teaser. If you haven't listened to our previous episode with writer Bill Wolkoff, who is a WGA strike captain, WGA strong, then you don't know that we already heard the word go in that first teaser when Spock is telling the ship to go. And if you've been listening to Open Pike Night, you've already been waiting for that for like months. Okay. So this is the kind of anticipation that you can get in on if you're an Open Pike Night listener.
We will be checking each one of our one-word teases off, and I guarantee you we will be collecting more for season 3.
Ooh, man.
On with the hype. Here comes our next caller, a fantastic supporter.
Hi, Open Pike Night. This is Engineer Mark. And season 2 is just about upon us. Yeah, it still is. And so is just as much your show coming back on with more reviews of the episodes and all the fun that entails. Something I am very much equally looking forward to. Mainly, you guys came along at a time in my life that could have been, well, very dark. And then, of course, our mutual fan interest, Melissa Navia, came along with a link to the Anitra interview and, well, pointed me right at you. And now, my friends, there's been a lot more since, and, well, I am very happy to be along for the ride. Thanks so much for being, as Cameron once put it, my emotional support pod. It's been a lot more since then. It's been very fun, and I'm looking forward to much more fun as we go along. Thanks for being here for me, and I will continue to be here for you guys. Live long and prosper.
Thank you, Mark.
I've heard that 3 times. I'm still getting choked.
Right.
That's Mark is truly emblematic of the kind of fan that we have met through this show. And that is one more tally on the Melissa Navia list, right? Because wow, I mean, before we met Mark in person at Fan Expo Portland, we were like, you guys, fans want to meet us. Like, I don't even know how to feel about that. My wife told me, yeah, you guys are going to totally get killed in Portland. Like, and some of the fans' wives told them that too. They were like, you can't just go meet podcasters. That's how people get murdered.
Most dangerous group of people out there.
You guys, we went to karaoke. We hung out all 3 days at the convention. Like, we ate at food trucks together. These are people that we are literally friends with now because of Star Trek, and that is my favorite thing about the show. Thank you, Mark.
Mark shows with his call how enriching this experience of Open Pike Night has been for us as creators and just as people, and meeting new people and making new friends. And personally, I will say, and you can say to anybody who's like, ugh, white guys, what do you call a bunch of white guys together? A podcast. There are a lot worse things a bunch of white guys could be doing together. Just remember that. So if somebody's in a podcast, remember
depends
that.
on the podcast.
True.
It's easy to be like, I'm talking about Star Trek with my friends, and that's not nothing. That's fun. That's a great way to pass the time. But is it more than that? And it's communicating. It's connecting with people. It's building societies and groups and communities that can share and laugh and talk together. And it's nice to remember every once in a while that it goes a little more beyond that sometimes.
You guys, I told people for weeks when we got back from that convention, like, I'm over 30 and I made a real life friend, like more than one real life new friend, you guys. Like, that is, our generation has every reason to want to stay in their house all the time and never go outside and do anything. But like,
Yeah.
Call into Open Pike Night because you are our people. We are your people. This is us.
We got out of the house. We met the captain of the Enterprise, and apparently he thinks we're troublemakers, and I'm fine with that.
Anson Mount called us troublemakers, guys. Love it.
It was
absolutely.
Oh, wow.
All right. Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you.
Let's hear from another fantastic fan.
Hi, Open Pike Night. It's Mariah. Your prompt this week was for feelings about Strange New Worlds, and I have a lot of them. So here's some. First of all, quietly dying of anticipation over here. I said no to a social engagement on June 15th because it is Strange New Worlds premiere day, and I am planning on staying home and watching episode 1 at least twice. Thank you. Okay, here's the other thing. Over the last year, I'm a fan fiction writer. I love writing fan fiction. I enjoy it as a way of interacting with the characters in a different way. I enjoy spinning out scenarios and just kind of seeing what happens. So, unbeknownst to myself as I was writing, I decided that I ship La'an and Nurse Chapel. And, you know, everyone has their own ships and they can have their feelings. But with the romance between La'an and Kirk, I immediately was like, yeah, sure, that sounds great, because this Chapel gives me Kirk vibes. Season 1 Nurse Chapel definitely had that brash, I'm going to just run in because I believe in what I'm doing, and so here we go, kind of charming, kind of flirty thing that TOS Kirk definitely had. And since I decided that La'an and Chapel belong together in my fanfiction universe, I'm okay with La'an and Kirk belonging together in canon universe. That is the end of my feelings. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Wow. Oh, Mariah, boy, is there stuff waiting for you in season 2 is all I'm going to say.
Things happen and characters interact in season 2, and I can't be any more specific than that.
At times face to face.
Yes.
Also, I'm just going to say I tried my hand at some fan fiction in screenplay form as well this past year, and wouldn't you know it, Onitra Johnson stole my idea. So,
oh yes, she did.
Onitra.
I like, I'm just going to throw this out there, okay? If you're listening and you're like, sure, Cameron.
Which is people would be fair to do.
No, that's me. Like, I'm that guy. Like, almost every time somebody goes, you know, okay, so a little bit more behind the curtain. I run all the social media accounts at Open Pike. So every time somebody on Twitter goes, you know, oh, I had this idea for Star Trek 15 years ago, and it's like, really? Come on. But like, in this one instance, I can actually vouch for Cameron because he sent us the script and asked for notes and was like, here's the screenplay. And this was like minutes after season 1 was over. So it was like, this is an actual instance where, as I was watching this episode, I texted Cameron and John both multiple times. I cannot wait to see Cameron's reaction to this episode.
Yes.
Like, when you get to this episode, Cameron, fine. I need your reaction in a live feed format.
And once I finally saw the episode, I was like, oh wow, okay.
There's not that many similarities, but there's like one line. I'm like, oh, hey, we were on the same wavelength. That's how I view it. Because actually, if you remember our interview with her at the end, I said, I feel inspired as a parent and a writer. And later that day, I wrote out like half the screenplay, and she must have been sending me something because it was a lot like her first episode this season.
Yeah, so, absolutely. So we will get her back and confront her, is what we're saying.
Yes.
How dare you steal my idea 6 months before I ever had it?
Get in the face of that successful young single mother.
You guys,
he will give her what for on this podcast.
Transitioning into one of those podcasts, okay? We're gonna get a really mean sounding URL. No, but one thing I do have to say about Mariah's call, because wow, it's clear that you are a wordsmith, and I really, really love that you're looking for justifications to feel great about a thing, as opposed to like, that's not what I wrote, I'm pissed, I'm not going to watch this. Like, that means the world to me, because those fans are there, and I just don't get them. I don't hate them or anything, I just don't understand them. So to hear that there are so many people out there that are like, here's the reason I could like this, and now I do, is like, man, that's how I am. I appreciate that. Thank you, Mariah.
Mm-hmm. And as a fan fiction writer, if you rely on canon as part of your inspiration, have no fear. You will have plenty of new character information in this season. We meet these people again and again, deeper and deeper.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Go on to our next caller.
Hello, Open Pike. This is Kelly Zent-Georgi, or Antipodal on Twitter. I'm still fascinated by the sneak peek video of Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2 that was released back on Star Trek Day on September 8th, 2022. In the video, as told by Lieutenant Ortegas' voiceover, the Enterprise is returning to Rigel 7. In the original series Star Trek, they visited Rigel 7 in their unsold pilot The Cage, and again in Season 1 in the two-part episode The Menagerie. Spock and 2 other crew members were injured, and 7 crew members were killed. Also, we've seen Talos 4, which the original Enterprise visited after Rigel 7, in Star Trek Discovery Season 2 episode, If Memory Serves. I'm curious as to why they are returning to Rigel 7, as the video indicated, and why they are returning disguised as Kalerans, the ferocious warriors. Also, thrilled that Paul Wesley is returning as James Kirk, curious how that happens, and extremely hopeful that some type of relationship is established between James Kirk and Spock. The dream of Spock never dies. Thank you, Open Pike. Best wishes for Season 2 podcasts, and hailing frequencies are closed.
You know, the words we can't say outnumber the words we can say right now, but I can definitely say it's always great to hear from Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great to know the fact that we can hear from Kelly is because we worked with Kelly to get her voice on the Open Pike Night Stage. If you want to call in and you are not quite sure how, reach out to us at any of our socials or our email, openpike@gmail.com, and we'll help you out because we want to hear from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And Kelly, that's the greatest you've ever sounded. I have reason to believe you learned how to record on your PC as opposed to your phone, and wow. And yes, all I can say to everything you said was yes. Like a lot of yes. And some wow. And there's some, oh my God, just wait.
Well, let's see. We theorized a lot about Rigel 7, and I'd say we were all wrong, but I was very pleased with what does go down.
I think that is perfectly put. We were all wrong, and yeah, just watch Strange New World Season 2 as it comes out.
So good. And as you're watching Strange New World Season 2 and listening to Open Pike Night like you do, if you need just a little bit more like individualistic flair per episode, that's fine, because guess what? Since we have access to these screeners, that means that we can write written reviews ahead of time and then publish them on the day they become legal to publish. So definitely check out openpike.com because there are going to be written reviews there as well.
Before we get on to our next call, I do want to say specifically thank you to Lee at Paramount Plus. Working with her has been fantastic, and she has absolutely been instrumental in helping us get these screeners and helping arrange our press junket. And also, I'm pretty sure thank you to Anson Mount for that. But yeah, I just really want to express specifically, Lee, thank you very much for your help. And on to our next caller, whose voice, strangely enough, also sounds pretty good.
What is up, Open Pike Night? It is Julian from your friends over at Strange New Pod. On behalf of all of us, we just want to say we were so excited a couple of months ago doing our wants and don't wants of Season 2 of Strange New Worlds. The hype is so real. Cannot wait to see what you guys do this season. We definitely hope to get together and do another collab, but here we are. It is Strange New Worlds Season 2 time. In the words of Captain Pike, hit it. Have a great season, guys. We'll see you later.
Oh, yeah. We're going to do another collab.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. I think, us being, the top 2 premier Strange New World podcasts, I think we've got to have a Top Gun style volleyball match against each other, right? Like just shirtless, greased up. No?
We need to
Okay,
figure out which Comic-Con we're going to be doing that at.
I thought you meant metaphorically. I was like, okay, how does
No,
this
no, no.
work? And Cameron's like, we take our shirts off, we oil up. I was like, oh, it's not a metaphor. Okay.
Listen to some 80s music.
Yep.
Also, I know for a fact, Julian has also seen the same 6 episodes we've seen. So,
and
he
was pretty much in agreement with his vague tweets review that dropped this morning.
Yep. And yeah, if you haven't had a chance to hear Strange New Pod, it's a fantastic group of people over there. And like you said, collab was super fun. We're definitely doing another collab with those guys.
And they have, we have a Discord, right? Like we have a Discord. They have the Star Trek Discord.
They have a fantastic Discord.
Yeah. If you want to talk to people that love Star Trek and are dedicated to every moment of it, go to their Discord because that's where those people are.
I will say their live streams, holy cow, they're like nonstop live stream watch along.
Yes.
Of all different Star Trek episodes. So if you want to just go and see what episodes they're chatting about, you'll probably find one being chatted about right then as people are watching along at home.
Thank you for calling, Julian.
Everybody over there at Strange New Pod, we hope you have a fantastic season 2. And yeah, we will see you soon. Here's another returning fan favorite.
Hey, Open Pike Night, hopping on the hype train for season 2 of Strange New Worlds, and I'm just excited for everything. There are so many possibilities. I'm especially looking forward to the Lower Decks crossover and standalone storytelling with character continuity throughout the season. I really like getting back to that Star Trek. And just on a personal note, I want to thank you, Open Pike Night, for everything that you've done, John, Jesse, Cameron, to create a vibrant Trek community around this show. And thank you for your support. One of my favorite memories, in addition to the Crusher connections, as Cameron coined them, was just being on your podcast last season and getting to talk to you about Star Trek and seeing your excitement and your enthusiasm and the great way that you've carried that over to interviewing all the creatives and stars and everyone. So thank you for that great work and for encouraging me to dip my toe into the strange new world of podcasting when Jessie with an I asked me to co-host Crusher Convo with her. And that's been a blast, and your support there and throughout the Star Trek community is so appreciated. So thank you, gents. And I will ask this question. What, in one word, sum up what you think about season 2 so far, since you guys got the screeners? So I know you've been asking that question of the actors. I'm throwing it to you. I can't wait for season 2 to kick off. Another great year of Open Pike Night and Strange New Worlds. Live long and prosper.
So it's not quite a one-word tease, just one word of how we feel.
I'm going to cheat and do 2.
Ooh.
Not together, just I feel like there's different things going on. So I think one is characters. Season 2 is very focused on characters. Also, I think what I'm getting from all of it is I don't know if cinematic's the right word, but movie-like. I'm going to say movie-like. Yeah. They're trying to make mini movies here for y'all.
I, again, had a little extra time to think about this because I heard this question earlier today. And for season 2 of a TV show, you know what word popped into my head? Original. So that's how I feel with what I've seen so far.
Mine is a short phrase that I think really encapsulates how I feel about all the episodes individually and as a whole. 1 through 6 of season 2, which is so effing Star Trek. Like it really is. Everything that you as a fan ascribe as a positive thing about Star Trek is here. It's all here. There is nothing that I have gone, I would really like blank though. Like I'm 100% satisfied as far as like the Trek of it, right? And that's before we get to the writing and the characters and the actors and all of that stuff, which we will get to episode by episode, but so effing Star Trek. And Michelle, thank you again for your support and for your true passion. Like John and I have called into or been on a Crusher Convo episode. Michelle and I were recently on friend Marcy's Idle Ride podcast talking about the end of Picard season 3.
Yeah.
If you hear the words Crusher podcast and assume that it's like pure fangirling, I got news for you. It is not that. It is
it's not just that.
It's that. Yeah, it's that. And then it is like truly deeply personal analysis of meaningful character relationships. Yeah. Definitely check out Crusher Convo.
I don't know if you guys do this, if you have like a listener in mind when you think of our listeners in general. And it could just be because Michelle has been listening to Green Shirt for a long time. She's a long time Twitter follower of us over there. But like when I think of our listeners, when I'm wondering like, what would our listener think of this or that? I picture Michelle. She's my generic listener identity.
Yeah. You're the face of the show in Cameron's head.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
And if you're listening to our podcast and you're thinking, man, this podcast talks about a lot of other podcasts, it's because we have made friends with a community of so many great Star Trek podcasts, and there's so many different flavors. So if Open Pike isn't for you, check out Strange New Pod, check out It's Got Star Trek, check out 2 Minute Trek, check out Crusher Convo. There's so many different perspectives. I'm missing a huge list. I can't think of who I'm missing.
Hi guys, this is Isaac from
Open Trek.
Now, we're really excited for Season 2. Season 1 was the best Season 1 we've ever had. We've just come after Season 3 of Picard, which is the best season of anything ever, and we're ready for some new content. So bring it on, Strange New Worlds. What I want out of this season, and I'd love you fellas to talk about it too, is this the season we're going to see Sarek? Now, we know he's about, because we saw him in Discovery, which is set at the very same time, or a couple of years before, what we're seeing now. And we've seen Cybok, or the back of Cybok briefly, but are we going to see everybody's dad, Sarek, this year in Strange New Worlds? All right, guys, all the best for the next 10 weeks and the episodes to come. We can't wait. And thanks for having us on the stage. See you soon. Bye.
Plan Trek.
You can't buy branding like that, guys. You really can't.
I wish I could show you. We should probably cut together a montage of our interviewees' faces every time Isaac comes on and says that. Just everyone loves it. From every writer, actor, just the smiles it brings.
Absolutely. And is it, guys, are we cursed like Cassandra with knowledge having seen these screeners? Like,
there's nothing I can say. There's plenty I could say right now, but nothing that wouldn't be a spoiler.
Okay, you guys, I think I figured out how to answer this question. Go listen to our interview with Matthew McFadgen, who played the Romulan commander in season 1's finale, A Balance of Terror remake called Equality of Mercy, and just picture him as Sarek, because that's who we want as Sarek personally, for the Romulan commander connection. But other than that, all I can say is we would love for him to get that role. And Sarek is one of my favorite characters because he is so emblematic of that father that's so hard to get the approval of, right? Even though we know Sarek has a soft side, he is still all Vulcan, and he really, the people in his life do deal with that. But Cameron and John are right. Like, I don't know that we can say anything specific at all.
I mean, obviously something happens that's making us react this way, but whether it means Sarek shows up or doesn't, I'm just going to leave that part of mystery.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
And we all know Sarek has a soft spot for human women. So
he does.
Let's get on to our next caller.
Hey, this is Jen, Season Girl. I have avoided all but one trailer, so I guess for the next few days I'm going to have to really stay away from spoilers because I love to go in blind for new seasons and such, but I am super excited. My favorite Open Pike moment is when, in a couple of the interviews, the people you interviewed, like my question about what kind of question they always wanted to have asked them but never got asked, especially that one scientist. Sorry, that's my dog barking. Especially since that one scientist was the question she liked to be asked was who she liked to ship, which came out of left field. Yeah, that was probably one of my favorite moments. And Tala likes to give her opinion. I'm looking forward to all the interviews this season and watching what happens on Strange New Worlds.
We get calls from people all the time, and I want to say, anybody who thinks, is it weird that I want to listen just to hear my call? No, it's not weird.
That's the point.
It's,
I've listened to an entire podcast just so maybe they might name drop me.
Exactly. I just loved. I'm like, oh, Jen, that is the most podcaster thing ever. I love it.
Yeah. Okay, Jen, I have so much about that. One, that was one of my favorite moments was when Dr. Erin McDonald spilled gushed a little bit about her fan fiction because of your question. Yep. Because of that answer, John and I went into, here's a little behind the scenes on our recent press junket. We asked Ethan and Jess Bush, they're the big ship on this series. What's one of their favorite ships from television? Thus proceeded one of the most awkward 30 seconds of our life, as they could just not answer that question.
Okay, and the reason why I don't know if we'll ever release a full video of the silence. We were specifically told at the start of the junket, do not interrupt the talent. And I think both Cam and I interpreted that as like, we cannot be the ones to try and steer this away.
Well,
from
I
this.
did try to steer away a couple times, and they wouldn't have it. They're like, no, let me think. And then they just sat in silence for 10 seconds. We're like, guys, we have 5 minutes with you.
5 minutes.
If this is a bad question, that's fine. We've got more. Yeah. We can move on.
Even editing it did not feel like 30 seconds. I felt embarrassed. I was like, I wasn't even there and I feel embarrassed. And not because like you guys screwed something up or anything. It was just like, I felt so bad.
Sometimes a question doesn't gel.
Yeah. It was a question out of left field, and it was apparently 2 out of left field. So that is on, that's absolutely on us. The actors we talked to are consummate professionals, but it was a long day for them. And
they're just getting weird questions left and right all day. Not everyone's going to trigger something in their head. It was funny. But if you're a patron, we are thinking of releasing the full unedited video to patrons. So maybe if you want to watch Cam and John squirm, if that's worth $2 to you, maybe.
Yeah. And Jen, that is, your question has become one of our favorites also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, yes, call in and listen to your question get answered by the people that make frigging Star Trek. Like that.
Right.
Like, and not to harp on Jen or anything, like specifically, that's part of why we designed this format, because we thought, we don't want to just give our opinions on a thing. Like, we want to experience this with the community, and there is no community if you don't call in. So go to openpike.com/join us. You can record right there, or you can record a 90-second MP3 and email it to us at openpike@gmail.com.
And I will say this personally, as the editor, you don't have to send us a perfect clip. Send us your thoughts with pauses, with uhs and ums, and I will clean it up. I will make it more radio friendly, just like I do with every one of us. When you hear our podcast, you're not hearing us talking normally. I am chopping. I am not rearranging words. I don't do that, but I'm cleaning up the way we sound. So I'll do it for everybody.
Join our Patreon. You can watch the full unedited video and you'll see plenty of ums and ahs.
Yes. All right. On to the voice I think we've all been hoping for and expecting at some point in this podcast.
This is Peter again. Before we switch the focus to Season 2, I have a couple of Ask Me Anything questions about your experience creating and running Season 1 of the Open Pike Night podcast. When you first developed the idea for the podcast, you probably had some expectations and a sense of how the podcast will work. What was something which surprised you once you started to work on the podcast that you did not expect when you developed the idea of Open Pike Night? Also, was there anything which turned out to be harder than expected to do for the podcast? Thank you for continuing to do the show. The time between the 2 seasons just flew by, and I look forward to the upcoming discussions about Season 2. Live long and prosper.
Thank you, as always, Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, what I didn't expect when we started a call-in Star Trek TV show was you, Peter. You and every caller like you who has become a devoted part of this show and an integral part of this show. And As far as the scope, I'd say I didn't expect our show to become what it is today.
I didn't expect to be recording something now a year plus after starting it. Yeah, full disclosure, I think when we started, we're like, yeah, we'll do a fun, short-lived 10-episode podcast about a new show, and maybe we'll be able to get some new listeners and drive them towards some of our other shows, Green Shirt and Sudden But Inevitable. And so, yes, I was surprised when like such a big community grew up around it that we got to the end of season 1 and we're like, well, we can't stop, right, guys? Like, we got to keep this going.
For me, the biggest surprise was that we were able to keep it going. Like,
sure.
The show was over for a year plus, and we put out episodes every 2 weeks with somebody who helped make season 1. And it was like, I mean, all seriousness, Cameron and John, they do the administrative stuff, right? They send the emails, they find the guests, that kind of thing. And you guys, oh my God, get ready for season 2 because of the guests. But as the social media coordinator, I get to just announce everything. And so I get that news first, and you guys can attest. I am the child. Like when they go, here's what's going on. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe we got that person. Like, how did we do that? And Cameron goes, yeah, we just asked. And it's like,
I don't think people believe us either.
Seriously. Like
how'd you, it's like, I seriously just sent an email. Cam just sent an email. And then
now those emails sound very professional. They're backed up with stats. They have numbers attached to them. Like, we're not half-assing this, right? We're putting a lot of effort into it. And to answer the second part of your question, Peter, I would say we did not think we would end up in a spot where we would be putting this much effort into this. Like, there are days where I have to find 5 or 10 minutes at work just to reply to people on Twitter, because it's like, man, there are 45 people talking to us on Twitter right now. Like, Cam and John, I know, have had to mute notifications to get through their days. Like, there are things that we hoped for, right? But almost none of this did we anticipate. And I genuinely, I had been on a lot of podcasts, like short podcasts, long podcasts, that kind of thing. But I was thinking, okay, here will be a podcast I can really put my name on and that we can be proud of. And again, we were like, it'll be 10 episodes and then we'll probably reconvene next year, do the second season. Like, but at the end of it, it was just like, the response to this show has been so much bigger than anything I've ever done creatively. So I was like, yes, full force. Let's just keep going. If you guys have the bandwidth, let's do this. And I'm so thankful that you do, because I have not stopped having a blast. Like, every day feels like convention day to me when we sit down to record, and I am so grateful specifically to all of our listeners. But Peter, man, our first caller.
Yeah, and we did a convention panel. None of us expected to be going to a convention and hosting a panel within our first year we hit milestone after milestone as far as podcasting goes, and none of those milestones are as important as this community that's built up. So that has been the biggest surprise.
I think maybe the hardest thing was, Twitter melting down in the middle of us, building a Twitter following was not ideal.
Oh boy.
Yeah. We had a lot of connections with writers and such on Twitter who suddenly left Twitter, and we no longer have those connections with them. That now we've got Blue Sky, we've got Discords, we've got Instagrams, TikToks. We're trying to keep everyone on. So maybe that's the unexpected hardness.
It is. And it, for me, another unexpected thing was that I guess I didn't expect to enjoy the level of effort, right? Because it's a lot of freaking effort, you guys. And I never feel exhausted. I'm never like, I need a day off from this. I mean, like, those happen because of real life, but I'm never at a spot where I'm like, Open Pike Night stuff. I'm constantly in the chat just trying to talk about Star Trek, like, even when we're not recording. So
it's like, a day job, so I can't do Open Pike Night.
Seriously,
exactly.
It has become my other baby.
Yeah, and we remind ourselves regularly. It's like, hey, real life takes precedence, but at the same time, Mariah was right. Put real life on hold for Star Trek. So it's a very confusing way to look.
Well, it's because it's part of our real life.
What
now
would Mariah do?
Yeah. That's the question. What would Mariah do?
There we go. Well, we do have to reach the end of our callers at some point, and we are there.
Oh,
with yet another of our wonderful Star Trek podcasting friends.
Hey, Open Pike. It's Abby Summer from the First Flight podcast. Just finished my season 1 rewatch of Strange New Worlds, ready for later this week when we get season 2. And I always like to pose a question to you. So here's what I was thinking when I was done. With just 10 episodes, it's hard to get all of the different characters interacting with each other. And we get these little snippets of what we know are deeper and longer relationships and stories. So what characters that we didn't see pair off or have a lot of interaction in season 1 would you really like to see more of in season 2? I think one of the ones that jumps out for me right away is I want more of the backstory with Pike and Mbenga. We know that they've done some time together on Earth. We know that they have a long history and that they really deeply trust and respect each other. So I'd like to see a little bit more of that relationship. And I really want to see what kind of hijinks Ortegas and Chapel get into. I mean, we've heard some references to stories, so I want those fleshed out. So what about you guys? What dynamic pairs would you like to see in season 2? Hope all of you and yours are well, and can't wait to chat more about this season in the upcoming weeks.
All right, Abby, thank you for calling in.
First thing, Abby, the runtimes in season 2 are so long. Oh my God, you're going to be so happy. Now,
so long.
I will say, to answer your question, I want Erica plus blank. I'm any pairing with Erica is good with me. I can say that I'm getting a lot of those in season 2, and I really appreciate that. We do know that she is present throughout season 2.
To touch on your point, I know we get a lot of Erica and Pike, but I want to see more of them outside of the bridge. I want to see what they're like, on downtime or away missions.
I can agree with that 100%. And I can say, keep your eyes open for the other dynamic you're really excited for, because it's totally there. So for me, from the episodes that we haven't seen, I really would love to get some more of La'an with Una. I really like their dynamic, the sort of, rescuer and rescued, but now she's totally capable of taking care of herself. So it's like, now they're just equals and they're friends. And I really loved their time playing Enterprise Bingo together. I would love more Una and La'an personally, as a secondary answer to Erica Plus.
Yeah. I know that people have been on the train for a long time with this relationship, but I finally understand. I would love to see more Spock and George Samuel Kirk absolutely need to have some more interactions. I mean, they work in the same department. He's his boss. Spock is his boss.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see them working on problems together. I want to see them hanging out together. I was like, come on, you guys. I get it now. I am a Spark shipper.
Well, John, I'm not going too far from you, and everyone knows I loved Sam Kirk and Uhura's relationship at the beginning of season 1, and then Himmer just waltzed right in and stole her mentorship from him. I want more Sam Kirk and Uhura, and boy, do I get stabbed in the heart. The other one I want, to your point, Abby, is Mbenga and Chapel obviously also have a history that goes beyond the beginning of season 1. So I'd like to see more of them, and that you don't have to wait long for.
Ooh, yeah, that's true.
Guys, I feel like we need to re-record this episode tomorrow, but full of spoilers that we don't release it till like after episode 6. There's so many things
we should
I
have just
wanted
spoiled
to say.
stuff, and then you could have bleeped it out, and then we could have released the uncensored version at the end of the season.
I have gone back and screenshot the email with all the embargo details in it like 9 times. Because every time I get on Twitter, I'm like, oh, I'm going to wait. No, I don't know if I could say that. Like, let's see. What do I say?
All right. So what was there? Okay, guys. You. Yep. Totally lots.
I did not expect to be such a in season 2 than we
or to make the willing decision to
right. Yeah. So
and I know it's not probably real. Man.
All right. Well, guys, this felt like a party. We got so many calls. I loved it. It's like it was almost like a Twitter chat, but hear vocally, and
it felt live.
With more than 188 characters. I don't know how many characters you get.
This was
depends
fantastic.
on if you pay.
I going through the emails, I just kept clicking download on the clips. I'm like, man, do we have enough time for this? Damn right we do.
Figure it out.
We always have time for you guys.
Now, speaking of you guys, there are some things we do have to tell you about. Now, if you've listened to the show before and you happen to be a patron, you know that there is a patron giveaway going on for a very cool signed apron. It's signed by Anson Mount and Ethan Peck. It says Kiss the Quaff, but it looks like it says Kiss the Goif. There's a whole thing. Anyways, you can enter to win that apron just by becoming a patron at any tier, the $2 tier, the $5 tier, whatever works for you. You will automatically be entered to win that apron. Now, initially, we had set a goal for a number of patrons that we wanted to hit before we gave it away. For a couple of reasons, chiefly among them being that's technically illegal, we're going to change the giveaway a little bit and put a deadline on it, which makes it not illegal. So we're going to give the apron away at the end of season 2. If you have become a patron at any point between when we became the kind of show that had a Patreon and the end of season 2, you will be entered to win that signed apron by Anson Mount and Ethan Peck. Now,
Captain Pike and Spock, you can wear their names while you grill.
The next thing that you need to know if you want to be part of the show is how to get your voice on the show. Go to openpike.com/join us. You can record right there, or you can record an MP3 of 90 seconds or fewer, roughly. John will edit it if he needs to, and send it to openpike@gmail.com. If you want to follow along with us in real time as we're freaking out on social media, just search @OpenPike. Whatever your social media is, @OpenPike is our handle there. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, TikTok, Facebook, literally wherever you can think of.
YouTube.
Go follow us there @OpenPike.
We rely on our listeners and our callers, one, for support on Patreon, but just for this is what our show is listening to calls from people who love Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Or you know what? People who hate Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I mean, don't be a jerk when you call in, but if you got a big problem with an episode and you can put it into a concise 90-second thought, send it to us. We're not just here to say, I love this, I love this, I love this, because we won't love everything, and you'll hear us criticizing this show that we do a podcast about.
Speaking of criticizing, if you have Apple iTunes and you haven't left us a rating or review yet, head on over there. Don't criticize. I mean, if you want to criticize, be honest. Just give us your honest feedback. Let the world know. We're really hoping we can expand more the second season and bring in even more voices. And that's the best way to do that.
It really is. It's important to Apple Podcasts. Their rating and review system is the most important way to get podcasts heard by more people on the planet right now. That is the way to do it. A 5-star rating is great. A 5-star rating with a review is even better. Write a few words of support. Again, like Cam said, you could criticize, but at least be fair in your criticism.
And Jesse has a great template for highlighting some reviews. So if you write something particularly snazzy, it may end up on some social medias.
It's true.
Because we may not love every second of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, but we love you guys. We love our listeners. We love our fans. We love our callers. Again, this community has been the best part of Open Pike Night.
And I'll go ahead and say it. If there are unlocked smartphones at your house, subscribe them to Open Pike Night. Like, what are they going to do? What was the worst thing that could happen? Somebody go, you added a podcast on my phone. Like, they're not going to care. Just do it and set it to automatically download. We would really appreciate that.
We even have an Open Pike Substack where you can get newsletters where it pops into your email. You don't even have to go to social media. You'll get an email saying, here's who you need to call in for this week. What you want to, what type of call we're looking for as far as a question, a comment, something like that, and when we need it by. So, yeah, it is. We've done all we can to make it as easy for you to call in, to listen, to celebrate Open Pike Night, and especially celebrate Star Trek Strange New Worlds with us. Season 2 drops in 2 days.
Oh my gosh.
And man, all of you callers who are what you're hoping for today. We can't wait.
Can't wait to see your reactions.
And again, if you haven't, make us Open Pike Night your Strange New Worlds podcast, where your personal logs are the prime directive.
Cam, where else can people find you besides the Open Pike Night Stage?
Yes, well, if you need to cram in some more Star Trek before Thursday, you can always journey on over to Green Shirt, a Newbie Trek Through the Next Generation, where we are watching TNG Season 6 currently, but also we have started, and Abby, who you just heard, has started her DS9 rewatch along with us. We now have the DS9 Minute. If you don't have enough time to listen to another hour-and-a-half long podcast, well, we've got you. We can tell you all about an episode of DS9 in less time than it takes to drive to the grocery store. We've got 9 thoughts. We'll tell them all in 9 minutes. It's a lot of fun so far. We're about three episodes in by the time you hear this.
I was genuinely impressed as a person who has not seen all of DS9. I was like, what could they do that's going to be meaningful in 9 minutes? And I was like, okay, this is a great show. Like I listened to your second episode without even watching the second episode of DS9. That's how high my confidence is in the DS9 minutes.
I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah. I think you need to watch TNG before you listen to Green Shirt. You need to listen to the DS9 Minute before you watch the DS9 episode. And you'll just have that much more of a deep, fun understanding of the episode.
Okay, you know what? We're going to do one more tease. Because of the WGA writer's strike, WGA strong, we don't really know when Season 3 of Strange New Worlds might hit. So we have begun internal discussions around additional Star Trek podcast miniseries to maybe keep the thirst slaked between seasons of Strange New Worlds. So keep your eyes open.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you've heard already, we will be doing a Best Butts of Star Trek episode at some point after season 2 finishes in August. And Jesse is laughing uncontrollably right now. Jesse,
it's only because I know you're going to actually make us do it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're doing this episode.
Julian, are you listening? This could be the crossover episode right here.
I am on board for that.
I want to hear Giraffe's list.
Oh, yeah. All right, Jesse, where else can folks find you?
If for whatever reason you need more of me in your life, just go to Twitter, look up @OpenPike, and that's where I am earning probably all of our 1-star reviews. And that is the easiest way that you can interact directly with the show when it's not on or when we haven't made a call to action. Again, any social media @OpenPike. Twitter is the one that I'm on the most just because it fits my overly verbose style of texting, I guess. But we are also on Blue Sky, and we are really going to make a push to stay current on Instagram this season, you guys. We will find out.
I can be found on various social medias. I am the one running the Open Pike Night TikTok, so it's starting to slowly take off. We're getting more followers there. And we'll just keep building this fan group, building this Open Pike Night stage. We'll make it bigger and bigger and bigger. We'll do like a 3-level stage if we have to. It'll be... By the time you're getting to season 4 or 5, it's just going to be a mess with 700 callers, and you won't be able to play like 6 at a time. Yeah.
Every new color is just another brick in the wall.
The food is going to suck by season 5, you guys. Seriously.
Well, it's been a long night. It's been a long couple weeks, and we have got to go wait a couple of more days for episode 1 of Strange New Worlds season 2 to drop. So I think it's time we remodel the Open Pike Night Theater a little bit, guys. So everybody, be sure to grab your drinks. Be sure to tip your servers. You can go anywhere you want, but you can't stay here.